His Excellency Mr. Kawakumi Fumihiro, Ambassador of Japan to Fiji, Ms. Gabriele Emery, the Sub-Regional Director for the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, distinguished members of the Diplomatic Corps, Acting Permanent Secretary for the Ministry, a Deputy Secretary, staff, members of the media, school children, friends, and to all of you that are online, ladies and gentlemen, and a very good morning to everybody this fine morning. First of all, I'd like to say that it gives me great pleasure to be present here at MRD to deliver the opening remarks on the commemoration of the 2022 World Tsunami Awareness Day. This year's World Tsunami Day theme is Early Warning for Early Action. This is aligned to Target G of the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction, which is, that target reads, to substantially increase the availability of and access to multi-hazard early warning systems and disaster risk information and assessments to people by the year 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, in December 2015, the United Nations General Assembly designated the 5th of November as the World Tsunami Awareness Day, calling countries and international bodies to raise awareness and share innovative actions on tsunami preparedness. In 2021, the United Nations announced a goal of making 100% at-risk communities tsunami ready by the year 2030. The UN Decade of Ocean Science is supporting efforts to achieve a safe ocean. The Tsunami Ready program shows how we can work together to reduce the risk for our communities by improving warnings, enhancing preparedness, and practicing response. In 2022, with the establishment of the Fiji National Tsunami Ready Board, Fiji is committed to roll out the Tsunami Ready program to enable all of our at-risk communities to be tsunami ready, to be ready for the tsunamis by the year 2030. On this World Tsunami Awareness Day, we decided to involve and engage the general public by rolling out a poster and short video competition with the theme Earthquake and Tsunami Early Warning for Early Action. We are very grateful to the government of Japan. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and the UNDP Pacific Office for the kind support and assistance for the World Tsunami Awareness Day competition prizes and the t-shirts that you're all wearing. I want you to make sure that you wear that t-shirt today. And as much as possible, you continue to wear it next week. Take it off today, wash it, wear it the next day. These t-shirts are to be worn. They must be worn this week as much as possible. So for me, I'll be wearing it today. I'll wash it probably tomorrow, wear it again on Sunday. Wear it again on other days. It's no use having these t-shirts and you're not wearing them and walking around. They have to be useful as ways of promoting this day, this week. So I'm encouraging to everybody, wear it today. If you don't wear it tomorrow, wear it the next day. Wear it again. You know, when you come to work, you wear your official, but afterwards, wear it. So you can use it to promote this particular day. Now I have lost my place. We are also grateful to the kind support provided by UNDRR on the rollout of tsunami and earthquake awareness messages with our national radio station. Ladies and gentlemen, times and events are changing. While tsunamis caused by earthquakes were common news, or fairly common news, the recent Hunga Hapai volcanic eruption and tsunami on the 15th of January this year has added a new dimension to early warning systems for tsunamis around the world. This eruption triggered a powerful tsunami waves that not only severely damaged the coastal communities in Tonga, but also traveled across the Pacific Ocean and caused surges in Hawaii, in Japan, and the western coasts of North and South America. And I was part of the government team that visited Ono, Vatoa, and Moave to look at some of the impact of that tsunami on those islands. This event continues to challenge our understanding of the risk posed by tsunamis and the way tsunamis should be monitored and detected to inform risk reduction measures, especially the provision of early warnings to safeguard lives and livelihood. Acknowledging these threats and the urgency for robust actions, the Pacific Ministers for Disaster Risk Reduction met in September this year in Nandi and endorsed the Nandi Declaration on the 16th of September 2022. This declaration recognizes and commits to the need for a multi-hazard early warning systems, collaboration with partners and communities to foster innovative approaches for disaster preparedness, and inclusion of traditional knowledge steering regional future actions in climate and disaster resilience. The seismology section under the Mineral Resources Department at the Ministry of Lands and Mineral Resources is responsible for the monitoring of earthquake and tsunamis in Fiji and the National Tsunami Warning Center. Through the commitment of the government of Fiji, 6 VSAT seismic stations have been upgraded and are fully operational as of the last financial year, and plans are already underway to secure 3 additional stations to enhance the national seismic network. We commend the Pacific community support in enabling our 6 local stations to be connected to the Oceania Regional Seismic Network, or OSNET. This improves response times for earthquake and tsunami detection. This effort enables the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center in Hawaii to have improved tsunami detection time in the Southwest Pacific region. Similarly, this effort strengthens the National Tsunami Warning and Response SOP, or Standard Operating Procedure, and the National Tsunami Response Plan of 2017 with the collaboration of UNESCO, IOC, with the National Tsunami Warning Center at MRD and the National Disaster Management Organization, or the NDMO. I want to thank the government of Japan for the JICA scholarships, for the training and capacity building of our staff, and the training provided to our officers to upskill their knowledge in seismology and disaster risk reduction. The ministry would like to acknowledge the kind efforts of donors through development partners and NGOs, and encourage your continued support in strengthening Fiji's tsunami warning and mitigation system. So key message, 3 key bullet points. When tsunamis strike or about to strike, I'm getting prepared for it. 1, get to higher ground. 2, leave no one behind. 3, be tsunami ready. Once again, we now to you all for your presence and making this a successful World Tsunami Awareness Day.
Naka everyone, and greetings, Honourable Minister, Distinguished Ambassador, representatives from across government, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real honour to be invited to participate in one of the first events to commemorate this year's World Tsunami Day globally here in Fiji, so thank you very much. And I really wear this T-shirt with pride, Minister, and I will take up your challenge to ensure that I continue to wear this T-shirt as much as I can in between the washing as well over the course of the next week, so thank you very much. So we've heard that tsunamis, although they're relatively rare events, they can be one of the most deadliest and devastating hazards. And while they're generally, while we know they're generated by seismic triggers, the potential damage and impact of tsunamis are only predicted to rise due to climate change and our rising sea levels here in this region. So in the face of such devastation, early warning and early action remains one of the most effective tools for protecting people from tsunamis. And we just heard the Minister's call around, those early actions that people need to take as well about, moving to higher ground. So located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, this region knows firsthand the impacts of these kind of events, and through lived experience have acquired the knowledge about what to do in case of a tsunami. This was demonstrated most recently, as we've just heard, in the Hungatonga Hungahapai submarine or volcano and tsunami event, which, despite some challenges with the sounding of the tsunami sirens, through good preparedness, community knowledge and awareness of what to do, the Tongan people knew how to act and move to higher ground, and this really helped save and spare a number of lives. So the fact, in fact, so valuable is this kind of knowledge about tsunamis that many indigenous coastal communities across Asia Pacific have passed it down for generations through stories and songs. And I just want to stop and also reflect on that, the importance of integrating local and traditional and indigenous knowledge into our plans and into our systems as well. And that's so great to have the Ambassador of Japan with us here today, because many of those local knowledges and customs from Japan have been so rich in teaching us what to also do about tsunamis. But these days we're lucky enough that this local and indigenous knowledge can also be complemented by technology to ensure that every coastal community is covered by tsunami early warning systems. Globally, the UNESCO-led tsunami warning system has proven very effective in quickly detecting tsunamis. But sounding the alarm is not good enough to save lives. Coastal communities must also be trained to respond, have their reduction plans in place, to designate map and tsunami hazard zones, develop outreach and public education materials, and create public-friendly tsunami evacuation maps and display tsunami information. And I just want to reflect on what the Minister talked about before, this progress that's been taken in Fiji in this regard. We heard about the early warning systems and centres that have been established here in Fiji. We heard about the SOPs and the procedures and the rules that have been developed. And we also really importantly heard about all of those great community awareness initiatives that are happening as well through the poster competition this year and the public outreach. So I would say when I look at that list of things that have to be done, I'm seeing tick, tick, tick here in Fiji. And I would say that this kind of progress has also been taken across the Pacific as well. So this is fantastic. However, I think the events earlier this year in Tonga has really served as a wake-up call that we can't kind of rest on our laurels on this, and we really must double down our efforts and investments across this region. So this year's World Tsunami Day calls on all countries to reduce tsunami risk through increasing access to early warning system. And this is what we've heard is in line with Target G, the 7th target of the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction. It's also in line with the call of the UN Secretary General earlier this year, which has committed that the UN and partners and governments all around the world will need to ensure that every person on the planet is covered by an early warning system within the next 5 years. So there's lots of work for us to collectively do together. So there are 3 central dimensions for tsunami early warning systems that need to be addressed. First, early warning systems must cover every at-risk person, no matter how remote or what language they speak. Second, tsunami early warning systems should be multi-hazard because, as we've seen, not all tsunamis are caused by earthquakes. And third, even when systems are in place, communities are sometimes not aware of the risks they face or how to respond to warnings. Communities in all their diversity must be prepared to take action. So there are those 3 messages unpacked of people-centred, multi-hazard, end-to-end early warning system. And I really need to, emphasise people need to know how to act. And that last point also about communities and their diversity. We know our communities are made up of all different groups of women, of more at-risk groups, and also, a large proportion of persons with disabilities. And this is one area of the early warning systems that I really encourage all governments and partners to really focus on. How are those messages really reaching persons with disabilities, and can persons with disabilities act on those messages with enough time as well? So I think we have a great video on that to show from some experience of persons with disabilities in this region if we have time a little later. So in conclusion, on this World Tsunami Day, let us commit to closing these gaps by achieving Target G of the Sendai Framework to expand early warning and early action for everyone here in Fiji and across the Pacific. No one should be left behind when tsunami strikes. Vinaka Vakalevu, thank you.
Thank you, MC. So, Honorable Jone Usamate, Minister for Land and Mineral Resources, Infrastructure and Meteorological Services, Ms. Gabrielle Emery, UNDRR Sub-Regional Director, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Bula Binaka, and very good morning to you all. Firstly, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to the Honorable Minister and his team for hosting this event, as well as for the warm hospitality accorded to us today. As the Honorable Minister mentioned, the World Tsunami Awareness Day was jointly proposed by 142 countries together with Japan and Fiji on 22nd December 2015, which was unanimously adopted at the 70th plenary session of the UN General Assembly in the same year. Many of you may remember that in March 2011, 4 years prior to the adoption, the Great East Japan earthquake triggered a massive tsunami that devastated the northeastern coastal regions of Japan. Japan proposed the World Tsunami Awareness Day in order to promote activities to raise tsunami awareness and strengthening tsunami countermeasures so that destruction from tsunami can be minimized in all parts of the world in the future. As for why 5th November was chosen as World Tsunami Awareness Day, it is derived from the Japanese anecdote. On November 5th, 1854, a devastating tsunami hit Wakayama Prefecture in Japan. In the face of the impending disaster, one villager named Mr. Hamaguchi saved the lives of the villagers by setting fire to the rice fields to raise the alarm early and evacuate the people. On behalf of the government of Japan, I'd like to express my profound respect and gratitude to the government of Fiji for commemorating the World Tsunami Awareness Day every year in the presence of Honorable Minister for the awareness raising. And I'm very pleased to see the significant progress that we have made to collectively promote tsunami disaster risk reduction awareness in Fiji. Having the best knowledge and understanding of tsunami is an important tool that Japan continues to promote. In October this year, after a lapse of 2 years, Japan hosted the High School Students Tsunami Summit. Representing Fiji, students from Suba Grammar School participated virtually. Furthermore, we continued our funding to our multilateral partners such as UNDP to enhance broader cooperation in this area. One of the best examples is funding to the Partnership for Strengthening School Preparedness for Tsunami in the Asia-Pacific region since 2017. Through such cooperation, tsunami drills have been conducted to test the preparedness capabilities in the recipient countries. Japan's funding for these programs is investing in our future leaders, who are our children and our youth, with the hope that they will be able to make better decisions based on the knowledge that they have acquired now. Today's event is focused on promoting Target G of the Sendai Framework, namely substantially increase the availability of and access to multi-hazard early warning system. Ladies and gentlemen, Japan has suffered from numerous disasters in its long history due to geographical and meteorological factors. However, Japan has consistently accumulated knowledge and technology for disaster risk reduction after each disaster and has utilized such resources for domestic disaster risk reduction measures. Furthermore, in order to share this knowledge and technology with the international community, Japan has promoted international cooperation for disaster risk reduction. Japan hosted the World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction 3 times and led the discussion on the international community. The Sendai Framework for Disaster Reduction 2015 to 2030 was adopted at the 3rd United Nations World Conference on Disaster Reduction held in Sendai, Japan in 2015. On the occasion of that conference, the late Prime Minister, Mr. Abe, announced the Sendai Disaster Reduction Cooperation Initiative as a contribution measures by Japan. Japan provided funding worth $4 billion and human resource development for 40,000 people in the 4-year period 2015 to 2018 as part of the first phase of the Sendai Cooperation Initiative. In the second phase of this initiative, Japan is providing tangible assistance to at least 5 million people, as well as training 85,000 people in human resource development and disaster reduction over a 4-year period from 2019 to 2022. In Fiji, we handed over a state-of-the-art medium-wave radio transmission facilities to FBC worth approximately 15 million Fijian dollars in 2017. The project was aimed to directly respond to the threat of natural disasters by providing accurate and timely weather information across Fiji through AM radio transmission. And one of our key ongoing projects is the installation of 26 new tsunami warning sirens from southern beach level to Lautoka City and strategic areas along the Coral Coast. The government of Japan will provide a total of approximately 17 million Fijian dollars for this project. Such Japan's assistance will help Fiji become more disaster resilient, as well as provide crucial support to achieve Target G of the Sendai Framework. We are very pleased that we are meaningfully contributing to this goal. Last but not least, it is my understanding that many countries in the Pacific are particularly vulnerable to natural disasters, and Fiji is no exception. The Sendai Framework is an important initiative put together and led by Japan. The government of Japan will continue its efforts in the field of disaster risk reduction, and we will work together to achieve the 2030 target. To the participants of this year's Tsunami poster and short video competition, thank you for your continuous engagement in creating awareness of tsunami. I also would like to express our appreciation to UNDP and UNDRR for your continuous effort in supporting Japan's initiative in Fiji and the Pacific. I conclude with confidence that today's event will promote the importance of effective early warning system, as well as further strengthen friendship between the governments and peoples of Japan and Fiji, including collective partnership with the UN families. Pinaka Karibu. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Talking about right now
Relative plate velocity.
how it moves.
How the plates, how's the speed they move
We
against each other.
move against each other.